I could probably just speed this up a little bit. All right. You ready? Gotta go in one final stretch. What is up, everybody? How's it going? Let's get this out of the way. Let's get a mic check real quick, make sure I didn't mess any of this up.
Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Good.
All right. Oh. How was your weekend, Mike? How was Halloween? Happy Halloween.
Yeah,
Started out
happy Halloween
strong.
to you as well. Yeah. Weekend's been good. We just been kicking it. Let the lady do my makeup here. It's still early over here. It's only 3 o'clock, so no trick or treating yet. But we'll be going out there soon. Snatch as much candy as we can. How about you?
No kids of my own yet, but we went out, did some shopping. Saw my little nephew. He's what is he? He's the Mandalorian, and he
Oh,
has
nice.
a baby Yoda that sits on his shoulder, and it's the funniest thing ever because he's like
Oh
four
yeah,
foot tall.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of my favorites right there, Mando.
Uh,
It's a
yeah, what's your daughter being? What are your kids being this year?
So we actually worked on the oldest one, Brady's costume. We made him he wanted to be a Game Boy Color, so we took a box and went to town on that. And then we got Trick that movie Trick or Treat,
Yeah.
with the little Sam guy. We got the other one Sam, and then we've got a vampire queen, and we've got a little bat. Stella's being a little bat.
Wait. How old is your oldest?
My oldest is 13.
And he knows what
No,
a Game Boy
12. He's
Color
12.
is.
He's 12. Yeah. He's obsessed with retro video games. Yeah, absolutely obsessed. He's got a Game Boy Color. He's got one of the originals. He's got all this. He's got a lot of cool stuff. That kid. He's big into
Nice.
video games. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a kind of a video game nerd myself, but okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with Monday as usual. Do a little recap. Another banger week, but not without some actual losses this week for a change.
Yep.
Last week was, let's just say it was a rare week of no losses, right? But why don't you walk us through Monday, the 25th?
25th. Let's go through the 25th. So we had on the 25th year. Some of the losses that we had, I took a nice loss on BKKT short. I went short on it. And I got a little squeezy poo out of that. They squeezed me a little bit. But that Monday looks like it was more green skies than there was red in the week. I know we took BKKT long. I alerted that at $12.30, and it rode all the way to $57.50 for 367%. So that's how we started the week. We had GNUS as well for 40%. That was a nice trade. And then we had UAVS also 24% and HX for 22%. So we had a couple good trades. I know the week started hot like it was last week. Like I remember the first 2-3 days of the week was just fuming hot. And then we kind of just hit that wall, which I kept talking about it in the Discord that it was coming, that the market was too hot. It was going to slow down. So we needed to, protect your gains, protect your capital, keep
Yeah.
respect your trading plan, which is something we're going to go into today. How to form your own trading plan and how to respect it. So Monday
So
started off all right.
so when you say like the market's slowing down, right? Like how do you gauge that personally? What do you look for when you say it's slowing down, it's speeding up? You
So
you
yeah,
checking
so
indexes? Like what's going on?
So they actually, if you were to check the indexes, dude, they were absolutely on fire. But what we trade typically are low floats, small caps, penny stocks. We get a couple, what's it called, bigger float plays that we'll do options on, but we don't really, trade the commons on the bigger floats. So I typically watch IWM, which is going to be the low float, small cap market, the Russell. And then what I'll do is I'll like my scanner. I got my scanner, which is Scans, SCANNZ. Shout out to Scans. I use Scans, and also I'll check Weebles. I'm on Weeble. I'll check the top gainers list. So like last week, a top gainers list, what we had every single one over 100% at some point for the top five. And then you see as the days started to go, it went from like 500% plays going on during the day to 4, and then to 3, and then only 1, and then all of a sudden, we hit Wednesday, Thursday, Friday where we were getting 40, 50%, and then it would sell off. So I watched that. I watched my scanner to check volume. You watch the volume die down, advancers over decliners, how many, if there's more decliners than advancers, typically, the market's a lot slower. And then, like I said, IWM. But if you were to check just the indexes, you would think the market was pumping. But sometimes that's a little deceiving. You'll see SPY hit an all-time high, but the top gainers list have, one gainer over 50%.
Right. So, all right, I was just curious, like myself, I have my own way of telling if the market's speeding up, slowing down, and I basically do the same thing. I just look at top gainers and say, hey, people are buying stuff right now. I mean, SPY and all the other indexes they can be tricky at best to tell things apart, but it's really hard to say when the market's speeding up and cooling down. It's kind of your own personal preference, right?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. It definitely is because I'm a bear and a bull. I'll go both ways. So to some bears, they
I
they
bet
like
you
when the
do.
market they yeah fuck you. but but yeah, I trade both ways. I'll trade up and down. And if I was just like, there's a lot of people out there that just strictly bears, so they like that. So that's heating up to them. Market's on a decline, more decliners than advancers. That's bear territory. So it is a
Okay.
personal preference for sure.
Yeah, and then so Tuesday heated up a little bit more, right? I mean,
Oh
we
yeah,
got in
Tuesday was
a
hot.
couple good plays on Tuesday.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
just walk
Tuesday.
through that.
Yeah, I think Tuesday was like the plateau, like where we hit the peak, right? So we did have those two plays, the week before. What was it? DWAC and PHUN. They went over 1,000%. Those kind of plays are once a year type deal that we're gonna get. Sometimes like last January we had a couple of those where it was just pumping, but I feel like that led us into this week where we had a bunch of hot plays. Tuesday was kind of like the plateau. We had CXDC 259%. I alerted that at around 59 cents. It went to $2.12. We had BME, BIMI, 91 cents to $2.68 for 195%. I also alerted IINN, which was $3.36 to $9.59 for 185%. And then we had pre-market. I caught a nice gain. It was one candle too. This WBX play was one candle. I got in right there at around 1770, and it jumped from 1770 to 37.99 on the 5 minute. And it was a smooth 115% one candle. So we had those, and then our WTRH swing from Julian. He couldn't be here today. He's taking the kid trick or treating, but he alerted this WTRH swing at $1.10. That thing hit 240 on Tuesday for a 118% swing. So we pumped hard. Yeah, we pumped hard on Tuesday. Tuesday was milk the market as much as you can day.
Yeah,
We had 50%ers. We had 69%. We just had, if you look at this recap here, it's filthy. And then we had one loss.
yeah, I remember Julian, that WTRH swing, man. I wish he was here to recap that because, dude, he was all in on that play. He was so determined that it was going to run for like the last 2 weeks, and he'd just been buying in and buying in. He's like, dude, it's gonna go, it's gonna go. I have weeks worth of DMs from him saying it's gonna run. I'm like, okay, bud, okay. And he's like backing it up with all this, all the toots are in, and at this price, like there's no way they're gonna let it die. And I was like, okay, yeah. And he alerted it, and kudos to him, man. It swung hard, all
Yeah.
in one day. Wasn't even
Yeah,
it
that
wasn't
was a
even a
monster.
grinder.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I mean, at first, me and him scalped it, like right when it hit that first pump from like 70s to 90s, or 70s to $1. We scalped it. It was a couple weeks back from 98 to like $1.10, and then he started doing super in depth DD on the company, on the institutions that we're in, and same as he kept telling me, you better be getting in on this, and I did. I loaded that thing. I sold a little early, me. I tend to take profit a little early, but
yeah, you're a paper
green
hand.
is
We all
green.
know.
Green is green, bro. So I rode that thing. I had about $1.40 average. I got in a little late, and I rode it to about $1.80. So it was a nice gain.
Yeah,
But yeah, shout out Julian on that one. That was a sick alert. He was right, spot on with that. Never went red on it from his entry to his exit. It was a beautiful swing.
yeah, and actually, speaking of shout outs, Wonder, who usually does a lot of our swing shout out or swing plays, he alerted a lot of these fire day trades this last week. If I remember right?
Oh
He
yeah, he did.
and he also got the DWAC and stuff last week, right?
DWAC was
So
on all him right there. Yep, $10.60. That one, and he held too. He held
yeah,
it to like $170.
that guy
Man,
is crazy.
yeah, man's got balls. I'll tell you that. He held that thing all the way up. But yeah, he alerted TRKA on Tuesday for 50%, which was a solid gain. That was a fun one. He got Mott's as well, 22%. Let's see. I'm pretty sure he was a little bit busier this week, so he wasn't as active as he usually is. But he still made sure to come in.
Well,
Ebon on Monday, he gave or no, Ebon was a swing that he gave.
yeah,
$2.07 to 338 for 63%.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
he's been on one
Yeah, well,
for sure.
When Wonder lacks quantity, he gives you quality. That is a for
Exactly.
sure thing that he is good for. So now moving on to Wednesday, you said Tuesday we kind of plateaued, but we had some runners on Wednesday. I mean, we had some losses on Wednesday though, right? And
Yeah.
I think one's not even on your list. Was that on
Oh,
Wednesday?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I forgot. I think you're talking about Oxygen, right?
well, Oxygen, and then wasn't Wednesday the day Alf tanked, or was that a different
No,
day?
no, that was Thursday. Thursday,
Oh, okay.
but
Well, let's just roll
yeah,
those two together then. Let's just
we'll,
talk
we'll
Wednesday,
roll into
Thursday.
this. Yeah, we'll roll Wednesday. So what I meant by plateaued, like we kind of hit the peak, right? So we had, 4 over 150 or 3 over 150 to 250. We had, that 115, 69, 50, 30 on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we did hit a couple. We did get, what do we got here? We got AGRI that I gave for 115, 151%, and KAVL Wonder gave for 102%. So we did hit those two, and then we hit CTEX. Wonder gave that as well, 57%. Red U, he gave us for 51%. Julian hit IronNet up for 45%. I alerted Beckett for 43. So we did have a good day. It just wasn't no Tuesday. So, and then we had some losses. Yep. We had some big ones
Yeah,
that
and
we'll get into.
yeah, and IRNT that was all of like a 10-minute trade, right? Like he called it and then it popped. Like if you weren't at your computer ready to go for that day trade, and that's what some of these day trades, right? Is if you're not there at the computer ready for entry, like when it's called, it can just go.
It could
Uh,
go, yeah. So we typically, I know, me and Wonder, because we use the same setup pretty much as on scans. I see a volume spike, followed through. Then I look for basing, so I'll pull up whatever. If it's a low flow, it hits it hits all the boxes that I look for. We'll see the volume spike, and then I look for basing. So every candle on the 5 minute has another follow through of the same amount of volume or more. So if I see that, I'll take a play. They tend to, the next candle runs up. And
mhm.
that's not, we don't have the power to push them up ourselves here. We got 360 something members, so we ain't pushing them ourselves, but we just find solid setups, and when they go, they go. But yeah, if you weren't at your desk for IronNet, you could have scalped it. I was in and out of it, so I grabbed 1180s and 1190s, sold it like 1250. I sold half, pulled back to 12s, added. I just kept, range trading it. Sell half, re-add that half. Jumps up another level. Sell half, re-add that half. And I made about a good amount of money on IronNet. That was a solid call by Julian. But yeah, if you weren't at your desk, you missed IronNet for sure. You couldn't come back and jump on it.
Yeah, and then you have BKKT on here for 43% from 2180 to 3124. But like that was just closed, right? Because after hours it kept going, right? Was that
So
or am
this
I
wasn't the day. This wasn't the day Beckett went to all-time highs. You're thinking of Monday or two. Was it Monday that it hit 369% from the alert? Yeah, you're thinking of Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
Monday, yeah, but on Tuesday we got a solid play out of Beckett. We not only took equities on that, we took options on it as well. And the options went first. I know the Whippet. Shout out the Whippet in the Discord. He held some BKKT options for 600%. I sold mine at about 120. I sold my equities for about 35%. I did end up because I'm trying to work on holding a little bit longer, and I've been working with Wonder on it. How to just have that ball that the balls to hold like he does, because he reaps the rewards. Sometimes you get that knife, but he holds it and he gets 400, 500, 1,000% gains on all of his shares. And I've been trying to work on that a little bit more, holding a little longer and then scaling out down the line. So I did get nice on that. But yeah, the Whippet and Julian and me, we all took some calls on Beckett, and that definitely paid.
Yeah, and then moving into Thursday, what was
You
that?
want to go into these losses first?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, I try to skip over them because I don't take them personally. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, obviously, let's talk about some losses.
Yeah.
We had,
Okay.
KXIN took a little bit of a dive, and then GNUS.
Yeah,
I
so let's if I can jump in here just for a second. Let's
Yeah,
start with GNUS before we get into KXIN, because KXIN was just volume spike. Thought it was going to base, it didn't base. Took the L. But GNUS had news pop. I forget what the news is. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, because that news, it seemed like all the bids, while it was halted, because it was halted for news, pending news. It was suspended, I should say. And it looked like, with all these bids stacking up, we were gonna catch a nice trade on this, but it is it did not do what we thought.
yeah. I
It
mean,
definitely did not do what we thought.
that's similar to we were talking about OCGN earlier. I mean, we have it down as a win because five, maybe you took 5% on it, but we were waiting for big news, right? Like
Oh yeah.
that WHO approval, everybody was sitting there waiting on. We are waiting for that thing to
Uh-huh.
go $18, $20,
Yep.
and then it got pushed for a week. And I think a lot of people I mean, we have it on
Oh,
here
I
as a
took a
win,
loss on that. No,
but
it's
yeah,
only listed as a win because we do potential gains that you could get from the play. So it
right.
did go up. And this was also the second entry. I didn't even put the entry on here. I forgot to add the first entry. The first entry was in let me look at the alert, because
It was
it
like
was a
nine
loss.
something.
9.3. You're right.
Yeah.
9.3. So wait, no, that wasn't the first entry. That was the second entry. I'm telling you, I had it on here over 10 when I alerted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember I grabbed it at like $11.
Yeah.
Oxygen, 12.49. It was actually Monday. I know I'm late to the party, saw it at 10, slept because I hate this company, but a lot of hype around who potentially accepting Covaxin, the WHO. So yeah, we took that in the after hours on Monday, swinging it
Yeah.
into Tuesday, and that's when what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I know we have a class around, holding into the catalyst, right? And what that could mean. And explain your strategy around why you thought 1254 was a good second entry, and why maybe you held your first entry at 930.
So So I've had some experience trading oxygen. I've been trading in and out of oxygen for a good year now. And I know it broke a critical resistance level, right? So, I seen it pop in the after hours Monday. I was like, this thing's gonna sink. It was at like $10. Every time it hits that resistance level, it falls back down. First off, that WHO approval doesn't even affect Oxygen as a company. It affects Bharat Biotech, which is their partner that actually created Covaxin. So it really doesn't even affect Oxygen at all. They don't make any money off of it, nothing like that. I was purely going off of the hype, and the technicals, and it broke that support right around $11. And that resistance has been so strong for 9 months. It hasn't broke over that, and it's only broken over that twice in the past year. And every time it did, it went to either 18 or 15 plus. So I seen that resistance level break, plus all the hype was behind it. 129 million in volume, most volume it's seen in 9 months. I thought, we had a clear shot, and it did. The next day was over 13 before that WHO denial. So, this you could have technically taken profit on this in the pre-market when it was at 13. But holding into a catalyst is dangerous, and we did do a class on that on swing trading, and we know this is dangerous. So lotto size these kind of plays. I didn't go too heavy the first round on oxygen. Second round I did. First round I didn't go too heavy, but I ended up stopping myself out. Market open. I remember it pulled back to like $10, went under that resistance level or support now. And I was like, oh, this thing's toast. Cut. The second I cut it, it jumped back up over 13. But yeah, so Akigen had a lot of hype. I've traded this stock many times. I wrote it from $6 to 18 the first time around. I made a lot of money off Akigen, over the past year. And then, these past couple times I've traded it, though, I've got my ass handed to me. So yeah, we
Just
had
giving back a
Akigen.
little.
Yeah, you got to donate back a little bit every once in a while.
So one of the things I kind of want to talk about is you have down here in the crypto swings, SHIB. SHIB
Yeah,
blew up over the last 2 weeks, and we got in super early thanks to Luna. And one of the other things I
shout
want
out
to
Luna.
Yeah, one of the other things I want to piggyback off that is the BKKT deal. The hype around that was the fact that they signed a deal with MasterCard for exchanges on crypto to USD or crypto to whatever they want to do. What do you think that means for crypto as a whole? And then like let's talk about like what made Sheep go where it went, because obviously it wasn't that, but
Yeah.
other things.
So yeah, crypto, it's the future. I fully, if you would have asked me this question a couple of years ago, I would have told you, it's fake. There's no money behind it. It's fake. It's eventually it'll all collapse. But now I'm super bull on crypto. I'm holding Sheeb still. I could have exited with over 250% gain, and I held on this dip here. I'm long on Sheeb for sure. They're burning coins daily. I know the float's super big, or the circulation, whatever you want to call it, super big. But they're burning coins daily. That was the news that set it off. I know it was trading around 4 zeros and a 2, 0.044 or 0.00002, and that's where Luna alerted it. I ended up getting in at the three level. And then I averaged up at the 4s. But yeah, Shiba had that news hit. There's multiple, partners that are accepting Shiba. You see them every day. I follow this thing on Twitter, Shiba Inu, Shina Inu updates, I think it's called.
Hmm.
Hold on, I'll pull up whatever it is. But I follow it on Twitter, and every single day I see new things that are accepting Shiba
Yeah,
as
it's
payment. The tattoo parlor I've seen in Sacramento is accepting Shiba. A lot of people are getting on board. There's a lot of whales getting on board. I could see, as long as they keep burning coins, that this uptrend will continue for a good while, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how far crypto as a whole has come from Bitcoin being mined from laptops to now we have multi-million dollar companies getting traded on the stock market at $20, $30 a share. We got countries like El Salvador switching to their national currency as Bitcoin. And
Yep.
now we have MasterCard making deals with crypto companies to do exchange rates. And then we got Sheep over here burning coins left and right so they can, get in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, crypto is
It's
it's
hot right now.
it's crazy.
We
Yeah.
just had Mana too. I know, I alerted a week and a half ago on Mana, 77 cents, and then Luna also alerted it at $1 2 days ago. Was it Friday? She alerted at $1. Next day we wake up, it's up 300%. It was it hit $5 at the high of day.
Yep.
Crypto's just been going wild right now. I know Bitcoin had just recently hit an all-time high. I'm on board. I'm bullish on crypto. It's the future. The inflation is killing us. It's gonna, inflation's here to stay, and crypto is, in my opinion, the way around that.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the beauties of crypto, right? Is it can only come so fast. So there's no such thing as overinflation. It's a steady paced blockchain. One of the things
Exactly.
we didn't talk about, and I know you personally paper handed, but I'm still holding it, is some of our option swings. We're starting to try to find better option swings for gap ups and things like that. And Intel on
Yep.
Wednesday, we alerted it at, I think it was 33 cents a contract.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
it's on its way back up. What do you think about that play?
Intel, that was, I believe, was it Heat that called it out in the chat?
Julian called it out. Yeah, there's
Julian
another.
called it out?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, whoever called Julian, then shout out Julian because that was a find and a half right there. I know Intel got beat down from 50s down to I believe it was like high 30s or low 40s. I forget exactly. Maybe it was mid
yeah,
40s, and we grabbed those calls. Yeah, and those calls were a fire call because
yeah.
not even days later it recovered half of the gains it lost. And you guys are what, up 100% on those calls?
Yeah, I posted. I think I'm at 93%. I mean, it obviously died off because I got a little IV crushed, but
Yeah,
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 it happens. I mean, I still got 3 more weeks on my call, so I got plenty of time. But Julian messaged me about it on like Tuesday, and I was like, I don't know if it's done falling yet. But then we saw on Thursday or Wednesday that it was holding uh strong at almost flatline. And I was like, Julian, I think this is the bottom, man. I think we need to grab this. And he goes, oh, thank God you reminded me. Because we're playing all these other
yeah.
huge plays. So we snatched that bad boy up, and away we go. It's one of my bigger wins of the week. We didn't recap Friday. You got lazy, it looks like.
Yes. So Thursday and Friday, I've been real busy. I got a lot going on over here in my
No
life,
way.
and yeah. So yeah, Thursday and Friday I didn't recap, but I can go through these plays here and
Yeah,
pretty
walk
much
us
tell
through a few. What happened on Friday then?
you. So we'll go to Friday here. So Friday was a rough day for me. No, was it Thursday? Thursday was the rough day. So let's go back to Thursday. So Thursday I took actually the biggest loss of my career, of my trading career. I took a biggest realized loss, I should say. So I've had a couple doozies. I took UNCY one time. I took a bag on that. Even with the experience, I still, once in a while, I'll take a bag. So I took a bag on ALF, ALF, Alfie. I did a lot of DD on this play. I've been in it for 4 months almost. I was Super Bowl on Alf. They just did their rollouts with their tablets and their software. I've seen it. Like, just I thought it was going places. Like, and if anybody were to do the DD I did, you'd think it's going places too. I missed the financials. I know Heat Seeking Pig Missile is his name in the Discord. We were DMing. He was kind of showing me a little bit on how to spot out when somebody's committing fraud amongst their company. And I missed it. I missed that the CEO and his son, they're doing a little bit of the dirty business behind the scenes, and they were launched an internal investigation, and I ended up going down about 50% on my ALF hold. I didn't have a stop loss because I was planning to hold long term. I've been throwing money in that play for months. I've
Yeah.
been
Oh yeah.
so bull
And
on ALF, and
I
and I took the biggest realized loss. I took about a 12 grand loss, and it's not that big. It's just I was able to recover a lot of it Friday, but it was a nice loss though. I felt it for sure.
yeah, but I it. I'm sorry you took a loss, but it makes me smile a little bit because we both know, if anybody's watching us in Discord, me and him battle all the time. Who's going to be bigger, Verb or Alf? And now this
Well, I
closed
can
the gap.
strongly say that Verb will be bigger now.
Yeah. So, barring nothing happens to my Verb, hopefully she starts climbing a little bit this next couple weeks. She's been kind of on an uptrend. Not currently playing it, but it's a long term investment that I've been looking at for a long time. Um, Another one that I just lost my train of thought. Another one we were talking about was for losses was KXIN. What did anything really happen there, or it just never took off and we just hit our
Yeah,
stop
no,
loss?
it just hit stop on that. I when I'm day trading and on the Momo flow, I'm hitting the momentum plays up. I do use a stop loss. Swing trades, I'll tend to use a mental stop loss. And with Alf, I didn't have a stop loss, obviously, but it wouldn't have mattered. In the after hours, it just dropped. It probably wouldn't have hit my stop loss anyway, and I
Right.
probably would have been stopped out months ago, because I was down already, good 18% on Alf. But With KXIN, so it had a volume spike. It hit the scanner. I pulled it up. I've traded KXIN many times. We've hit that play up quite a few times for good gains. And when it catches volume, it's got a huge short float. It could go. So I took a smaller position starter, and I wasn't even paying attention to it. I just seen the alert on Webull, and I was stopped out. So that was just it didn't base, the next candle that came up, the next 5 or 10, 15 minute candle, whatever chart you use, was just a red candle, and it stopped me out. There was nothing really behind that loss. That it wasn't like GNUS where it had fire news, and
Right.
it was halted, it was suspended, and we all threw bids at it because it was going to unhalt and just fly, and instead it just tanked.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, but that's also another thing that I look for a sign of the market weakening. So like last week, if something like that happened where it was a halt or a suspension, and we threw a bid at it, you get 10, 20, 30% gain. We did it in the after hours. I don't know if you remember. I forget which
Yeah.
play it was, but I found a good one. We jumped in on the suspension after it undid. We got like 18% in one candle. So that was just unfortunate. We took the stop loss on that, and we just kept it pushing. But Alf was really the big one. I want to kind of go over on how to be able to follow a trading plan. Because I didn't follow a trading plan, and I paid the price.
Yeah. And what a lot of newer, inexperienced people realize, and what I realized really fast when I started trading, was when you need to not only do you need to find a good entry, but you need to find your exits. Otherwise, you might miss the first one, and you might take a wrong turn very fast. So, Mike, how do you find what do you define as your plan, and how do you follow it? How do you play along? How do you keep yourself from trying to get more? Did
Yeah. So I paid my dues. Um, to put it blank, pretty blatant, is I've been in the game a little bit. I've taken losses because I was greedy, right? So I take a play and I expect 50 to 100% immediately, right? Because that's what my brain tells me to expect. Like I need to get a big gain out of this, but that's not always the case, right? So what I do is I have a stop loss in play. If I'm day trading, my stop loss typically is 3 to 5%. If it's a play I've got higher conviction on, I'll move it to 7%. And then I take each level. I'll take profit at each level. So we go up 5%. I move my stop loss up now to break even. So now my stop's at break even, so I can't lose on the trade. And then it goes up another 5%. I scale some out at 10%. I move my stop loss up behind it. So I just keep leveling up on the way up until I'm all out. And sometimes I'll leave runners. I'll leave eighth of the position to run, and I'll put a trailing stop on that at the end.
and you're
But
talking
that's
strictly swings here? Or are you talking days, day
I'm
trades?
talking more so momentum and day trades. Swing trades a
Okay.
little bit different. Yeah, swinging is a little bit different, but for momentum and day trades. But when the swing trade goes, then it follows that suit. So once my
Okay.
swing starts to take off, I flop into that, moving my stop up, scaling out on the way up. But swings I typically want a bigger move out of because I'm holding for a longer time. And it's usually catalyst based, or something is going to move the stock. I'm not taking a swing, or even setup. If there's a nice setup, it depends. Each play is different, but with
Right.
momentum day trades that we do in there, I've got a plan that I follow every trade. If it don't work out, I move on to the next one. Right? I've taken enough losses to have felt enough pain to now follow a plan.
So I gotta ask you right now, going into the end of the year, like through the end of the year, are you gonna be a bear or a bull as of right now, or are you just like are you on the fence at the moment?
Yeah. So right now, I definitely am on the fence on bearable. I think that we did just have a little correction, 4% correction, which is it's a correction, but it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. And we've got constant bad news, just constant bad. We've got inflation on the rise. You've got what else do we got? We got that $3.5 trillion spending plan. We've got that $1.5 trillion. What's the other bill? Can't think
Oh,
of it offhand.
the build better plan. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
that one, the
The
Build Better plan. We've
infrastructure?
got the infrastructure. There you go. Yep. So we got that coming. We've got just a lot of negative things that people aren't really seeing. So right now, the market just hit all-time highs. All the indexes hit all-time highs, I believe, on Friday. I wasn't paying attention to all of them, but I did see a side by side on all of them with that giant green candle going into close. I think that we're good. They just raised the debt ceiling, right? So I think we're good for a little bit. I think we've got till about December when they reevaluate that debt ceiling again. I think we're going to see
Yeah.
another pullback there. I hope not. I want to be a bull forever, but I can't not. If the market's going down, I'm following it down. So, it don't really matter to me which way it goes, but for other people's, other retailers that don't go on the short side sake, especially for a lot of our members over there in the Discord. I would love to see it just pump until then so we can milk the hell out of it. Like this
Yeah.
past 3 weeks, right? Past 3 weeks have been hot. We've been in early on almost every single big runner, and we've been milking the hell out of the market because that's what you do when the market's hot. You can make your entire year's worth of money off of, 1 to 2 hot months in the market and then just sit on your hands for the rest of the year if you got the money behind you to do it.
Right.
But yeah, you can make your whole year goal in 2 months on a hot streak and then call it a day and just wait out the wait out the dips.
Now,
But
yeah, I wanna talk strictly SPY with you real quick. The S&P 500,
yeah,
all-time highs on Friday, just like all the other indexes.
yeah,
Me and you had a bet going. We still got it going for year over year
yeah,
from October for
yeah,
it to break 400 to go down. Do you think
yeah.
do you think it'll still go below 400 at some point? All honesty, no, like I mean, I'll send you my PayPal information, but all honesty, where does it go? I know you were so confident less than a month ago. You're like, your new Bronco versus my portfolio. You want to go for it? And we
Man,
said over under 400, and I was like, I don't know, man.
you would have been
How would
wise
you be
to take
feeling about
that.
that?
You would have been wise to take that bet, but I mean, I can't really gauge this thing anymore. When it corrected, I was able to gauge it really well. We were trading SPY during the correction, and I made probably the most amount of money and the shortest amount of time I've made in the market playing on that
Yeah,
on that correction. I was making big money quick, so up both ways too. The bounces I was playing long, and the tanks I was playing short.
yeah,
It's at
it's crazy.
459 right now. It needs to drop 60 points in order for me to win that bet. To be honest with you, I'm probably beat on this bet.
No, I
Even
was
on a big tank, even if it tanks, hard, I don't see it, going
the
more than 30 points.
yeah. I think the scariest part about this last uptrend to get to this new all-time high is how many gaps there were.
Bro, I'm looking
Uh,
at the chart right
yeah,
now, and
I've got it pulled up for the stream. I mean, looking at these gaps, like, man, it was scary because everybody and their mother's just like, man, when if it doesn't keep the trend, man, it's got a long way to go down, and everybody's just scared of it, including me. But it somehow just kept pumping,
I
and
mean, don't get me wrong. I still have faith that it shouldn't have done this. This run that it's on right now, it shouldn't it shouldn't have been this high. I mean, there was 3 negative catalysts in a row Thursday and Friday, and I lost a good bit of money on some puts because I was expecting a pullback. And on top of it already ran, it recovered fully, hit an all-time high. Usually when we hit an all-time high, I grab a couple lead puts and I'll, if I see something that looks like it's going to turn the next day, I'll grab some puts and it did not turn. It just kept going. I'll
yeah, and
tell you that.
I'll be honest with you, if from my short term experience and like what I look at, I think next week, I think we're going down next week. I don't think we're going to 400 down because you keep
No,
saying
no.
399 in chat
I'm
just to
just
fuck
fucking
with
with
me.
you. Yeah.
But
No.
I
We
think
won't hit 400
I think
next
this
week.
last week and a half was a lot of earnings hype, a lot of hit earnings, not just earnings hype, but then they hit and exceeded that hype, and so you saw them even go. I mean, I played Microsoft calls for 40. I called them out in the chat at 45 cents, and they went to $645. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I paper handed those for 90% too, so I'm not going to do that with Intel. I'm gonna try a different
Wow.
approach, but
So you know what I've been starting to do with options is I'm sizing smaller and just making them lottos. So it's like whatever I
yeah,
make, whatever money I put into them, I don't expect it back. So I still paper hand, obviously. I did it on Intel. I did it on BKKT, but yeah, I feel like if you lotto it, you can hold it longer, and then you get more money out of those lottos than you would have if you full sized and paper handed it. Just an opinion of what been trying out. But with the spy, I agree with you. I know N7. He's in the Discord as well. He's taught me a lot. Like that dude has pretty much. He's got his own little spot, and I go in there, and that's where I've pretty much studied for the past year or
yeah.
whatever it was. And he's expecting or he came in and asked what I thought, but he thinks too. I think he was saying something about like a 12-point dip maybe. So I don't know. It's overextended. It's overbought. It should pull back at the very minimum a little bit, but if it pulls back hard enough, we could see a nice
So
nice run back down tomorrow.
so are you looking at leap puts right now, or did you already take some, or are you still a little skittish of them?
So I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna wait until I get some confirmation on the downtrend from now on.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
learned
what do
a
we?
lesson.
I mean, we got like 15 minutes left. Let's talk about Monday. What we think about Monday, and then let's see if we got any questions in the chat. So I'll start looking at questions. Let's talk about Monday, and what we're going to be looking for.
Yep. So don't really. How many viewers we got right now?
Yeah, we got a few. We got four. It wasn't as hyped as last time. I know you
Well, yeah, it's
kind of fell
Halloween.
down on hyping it up, but
Well,
we got a couple.
it's Halloween. I figured people it's 6 o'clock. They're out trick or treating. I told a
Yeah.
lot of people, just make sure you hop in on the recording afterwards. And then with next week, I got my eyes on a couple plays. I got ETON that I'm liking. Um, ETON is one that I like. Let me pull it up for what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, also one of the members gave me a play that he sent me a bunch of charts. Loch Ness, shout out Loch Ness. He sent me a chart that I like a lot. Neon's on a daily
Oh yeah.
descending wedge breakout. Yep. So I like this chart for technical wise. It's on a daily. The daily chart's on a descending wedge breakout right now.
Look at that.
I'm going to be looking for confirmation candle tomorrow on Neon. FPAC is a swing that I just alerted. It's a spec. That one's got crypto ties. They're merging with bullish.com. I just entered there around 10:37. That one's already over 11. That's a high watch for next week. MCMJ I'm watching. There's another one that I'm swinging a spec that I took as a day trade and I ended up holding them. Specs have been hot. DWAC and PHUN were specs. BENE's a spec. They've been hot right now, so I've been trying to find the next spec that's going to fly. So
What?
bullish.com is or not bullish.com, FPAC and MCMJ I'm liking a lot.
Okay. So a lot of people in the Discord have been playing Prague, and they're still playing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't blame them. It's been a cash cow. But it's
Oh
at the
yeah.
top of this bowl on the daily, at around $4. Are you looking at Prague at all? Do you think it's still got gas? Like,
So I'm
I
definitely
know
not
you
the
don't
one.
like the company. I know you don't like the company, but
Yeah,
technically
no, but I
speaking,
traded. Yeah, I've traded it long a couple times, but it's not that I don't like it. I just it's not. I mean, I took it at $1. So you know how buying something that you traded at $1 and now it's at $4.
that
It's
that
like
mental is a little tricky.
yeah, mental's kind of blocking me from really trading it up here. It's over $3.60. It hit $5. It's on a downtrend now a little bit. It's got the volume. It has huge volume every day. Had 35 million volume on Friday, even though it had a little bit of a pullback. But yeah, I mean, if it's got momentum, bro, I'm there. It don't matter the company. I don't like Oxygen, and it had momentum, and I was there. But with a stock like Prague up, what is it up 500% since we took the play? 400% it hit.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
You know, I think it made its move, but a lot of people like this play. They're still playing it. I know, Milo Po's been making bank off of Prague, and kudos to everyone making bank off of Prague. Milk that sucker. It was like when BBIG first started running, and me and you, we were just milking it. Every day. We were finding a new entry. I had my swing in that on my one account, and I was just day trading that sucker every day, getting 30, 40, 50% day trades out of it. So if you can get that out of a play for a while, milk it until it runs dry.
And then the other one I wanted to ask you about is I think you might be swinging this one still as Pult.
Paul, no, I'm out of Paul.
Are you out of Pult?
I had to stop on Paul. I should have taken profit on Paul a long time ago. I was in Pult around 703 and it hit $8.10 and let me pull it up. It hit it a couple times, but I was greedy. I was looking for a bigger move and ended up collapsing. So it's now at $5.40. It might be a good buy here, but I was in. Why isn't this charting working on Webull here? Let me see.
I hate how the charting you have to switch between them every now and then to get it to space correctly.
Yep.
Oh, it drives me up a wall.
All right, so I'm pulling up
Webull, if you're listening, fix, please.
Yeah, fix, please. So, Paul, we're going to go back 5 days. We'll go back. Yeah, so here we go. So, I was in right before it had this gap up after the offering closed, right? So, got in right around the middle of the gap up here is like 750. And it ran to, no, it was 703 I got in. It ran from there to, where's the offering? Here it is. All right, so it dropped from the offering. The offering closed. It got in at 703, and it ran up to 820. And then I ran up to 818 the next day, and I just was greedy on it. And then eventually I got stopped out. And that's what happens when you're greedy. You get stopped out. So I took a loss on Paul a while ago. I wasn't like it wasn't like an ALF to me. I wasn't like super, super long on it. But it had the closing of the offering. Prague did that. Prague ran, right? It ran from $1 to $2.50, and then it had an offering drop down to like $1.80 or so. Offering closed and it ran to $5. So I was kind of looking for a similar type deal as what Prague did, but didn't get as much of them.
And then I think one of the other swings that I think actually Wonder called out was TMC.
TMC, yeah.
Are we looking for that? Do we think it's found the bottom? Is it going to start moving up? Come on, look into the crystal ball and tell me. I know you got it.
So TMC, I'm out of TMC. It ran on the 26th, right? So I was in around $3.30, I think my average was. And then I averaged down to, actually, I can tell you what my average is. Let me pull up the history here. So yeah, my average is actually 320 after I averaged out. And then it ran up to that 360 area. I exited because this thing has just been on a mean downtrend for, 2 months now. Let's look at the hour chart. If you look at it, it went to 15 and it's just been down since. Did it find a bottom yet? I don't know. I mean, if you look at the hour candles, if you look at the hour chart, it doesn't look like it found a bottom yet.
Yeah, I agree. So,
I'm grateful to be out of it, though. I'll tell you that much. That was a headache.
Same.
But yeah, another one though that what was it? Let me pull it up here. EEIQ. China was heating up there a little bit, so I took a couple of those China swings that Wonder alerted. And plus, EEIQ has been really good to me over the past 3 months. I took it at $4 and it ran to 10. I took it again at like 380s and it ran to 6, 570, and then now I'm in again on EEIQ with a 405 average. I'll be looking for that it's been consolidating on a support level down here. I'll be looking for that to make a move again. And KAVL, we can't leave this without talking about KAVL.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about it.
A lot of members in the chat are in this play. A lot of them, are long on this, and we've definitely held. We didn't follow a plan on this one, that's for sure, because we held it down a bit. But I'm still holding KAVL. I got a pretty large position.
And you got into that
on KAVL.
Honestly, I didn't even play it. This last week, I kind of took a step back, and I'm in mostly cash like all week. So it just sat there. But as far as KAVL goes, you guys got in on Monday, right?
So we took
In the pre?
AAVL as a day trade pre-market. Yeah, Wonder alerted it, and I believe that was 110%, 115%, something of
Yeah.
that sort. It ran pretty hard. And then we got back into KAVL because it sold off, right? So it ran to $2.90 something cents, $3, whatever it was.
Yep.
And it sold most of its gains off. And it hit like a nice support level around $1.65. But we got in a little early. We got in around $2 to $1.90. So we did get in
Hmm.
a little early on that. It ended up going down to $1.60. But if you look at the daily chart, we're starting to break into a nice uptrend. They
Yep.
were trading over $20, over $40 not too long ago. Was that about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, March? It's trading over $40. It had a FDA denial, and that's what sent it down. And now the FDA is reevaluating that denial. So we're hoping
Right.
for a up into that decision. We're not going to hold into the decision. We're going to hold on the swing up into it. So
Yeah, this could
that's what we
be.
want.
Yeah, this could
Okay.
honestly be, looking at the hour chart, this could be one of the cleanest cup and handles you'll ever see. Down here
Oh
at
yeah.
that bottom.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it coming back. Even just technically speaking, if you weren't talking about the catalyst, you can see a nice uptrend over the last 3-4 hours or five hours ish. And you see this, it has like a nice little top here or a resistance at like 210 ish, 209.
Yep.
Um,
209.
and
Yep.
if it manages to break through that and pre-market on Monday because of hype or whatever else, I mean, you could see it shooting back to that 350 area pretty quickly. Now it might sell
Yep.
off again, but that would be my plan though. If I was looking at it, I'd say, hey man, as soon as this thing hits, a couple percent, I'd start scaling out at,
Yep.
215, 220.
215. Yeah. So I got a bunch of sell orders because pre-market over here is 1 a.m. I got a baby. I got a 15-month-old, and she, sometimes we'll be up late. So sometimes I miss a lot of the pre-market. So I set sell orders. I got a sell order right at 220. I got or right under the 220 resistance area right here, 219 ish. We've got that resistance right there that you were mentioning, 209 ish. That's the exact resistance levels that you're spot on it. It's 209. Once it breaks that, we don't really we have that 220, and then we don't have much until about 270. So I got a couple cells going from 220 up to about $3. I think this might be a slower grinder. It depends. We had unusual volume past couple days. It can make a nice move. The average volume on it's 5 mil. Had a little over 6-7 mil on it on Friday. We had a lot more than that on Thursday when it made that big move. But yeah, I'm long on KAVL. I expect a nice little move out of that. And if it can get over that 3 area, it's got a huge gap to fill
Yeah,
up to $4.40. So if it can get over that, it could really make a move. If it gets the FDA approval after the reevaluation, I'll hold a couple shares as a gamble into that. But if it does, I expect this to get back to true value.
yeah, I would agree with you on that. Now we're gonna wrap it up here because it is Halloween. People got things to do. Um,
Here.
but one thing I do want to talk about is the biggest news I think in the market was Facebook changing its name.
Oh yeah.
Did I mean, and the implications behind that, because we saw stocks like MMAT, Intel, a bunch of these virtual reality type stocks that have some sort of technology in that space, kind of sympathy plays that we were talking about before. Um,
Yep.
what do you think of that big change? You think Facebook is uh,
Facebook.
Facebook? I mean, I don't know what to
Facebook's
say.
Facebook. We could get into that that whole deal. I was watching CNBC, and I know Facebook's been under a lot of fire, and they're trying to cool off. With the whole the youth. Our youth is having a lot of social problems because of Instagram and Facebook, and Facebook owns Instagram. As well as the Meta switch, the name change. I don't understand, the point of it. You know, you go on Facebook, it still says Facebook on it.
Yeah.
First off. and I still got the F as the logo on the app. I think it's just all positioning pretty much is what I would call it, or posturing for them. But it did give us some sweet sympathies. I know a lot of people in the Discord were stuck in MMAT, either swinging it from a decent entry or got in too early and took the bag. And a lot of people got out. I know rolling deep in there. She had gotten a nice gain. She was bag holding on MMAT. She was able to get release those bags. A lot of people off of that name change got some nice plays in off of that. MMAT went pretty crazy in the after hours off that news.
Yeah, it did. All right. Well, I think that's a good spot to call it quits at. I mean, it is Halloween. I didn't want to run too long. I mean, I knew we wouldn't have as many people maybe because of that. But thank you everybody for coming in, stopping by. And we'll be back here same time next week, 6 Eastern time, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, and everybody remember that this is not financial advice. Everything that we go over here are just our opinions and ideas that we're sharing. Always do DD before you take a trade, and make your own decisions. As well as, if you're not in the Discord, man, I don't know what you're doing. Hit the link, join the Discord. We've got over 350 traders in there, working together to make this thing happen, no matter what the market sentiment is. So join us in there.
And
We
it's
have a lot
free.
of fun in there. It's free. It's free for all. We make money off the market, not off of y'all. So hop on in the Discord, hang out with us. We do have a lot of fun in there. We joke around all day. We find great trades, great setups, and everybody that participates in the conversations all has something to add. I get a lot of plays from members, that end up being complete bangers. So definitely hop in there and join us on this journey. And you all have a great night. Happy Halloween. I'm ready to go get my trick or treat on. Let's get it.
Have fun. Don't infect too many people. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm going for them.